Now let's talk about the equilibrium condition. Okay, let us first define what is a equilibrium. We say that a body which is being acted upon by a system of force is said to be in equilibrium if the body does not have a tendency to either rotate or to slide. Okay, so basically the body is at rest or it's moving with a constant velocity. Okay, let us take a look at this body over here. Now this body is being acted upon by a system of forces, right? We know that a system of forces can be reduced to a single force coupled system. Okay, so if this body is to be in equilibrium, if you are saying that equilibrium conditions exist, then this body must not have any sliding tendency or any rotational tendencies. Okay, we know that rotation is due to the moment of a force, right? And we know that sliding tendency is due to the force itself. Okay, wherever you have a net force acting in a particular direction, you have a tendency to slide in that direction. Therefore, this body is in equilibrium if you have the resultant equal to 0 and you have the moment of that resultant equal to 0 as well. If this is the case, then this body would not rotate and this body would not slide. Okay, these two are very important conditions that you are going to use everywhere. Okay, so just remember this: a body is in equilibrium if the resultant of forces acting on that body is 0 and the moment of that resultant on any given point is 0 as well. Okay, this point can be anywhere. Okay, we know that we can reduce a system of forces to a force coupled system at any given point. Okay, so your moment of resultant at any given point should be 0 for a body to be in equilibrium. Okay, now let's talk about a specific case wherein we are having only two forces acting on a body. We are talking about an equilibrium of a two force system. Okay, so let us suppose my body is like this. Let's choose a different color. My body is like this. Okay, and there are two forces acting on this body. Okay, one is like this. Okay, let us call this as F1, and another is like this. Let us call this as F2. Okay, these forces I can have them in rectangular components also, right? So I'm going to have this over here, or if we were to have a different color, this over here is going to be F1x, right? And this is going to be F1y, right? Similarly, this guy is going to have a F2y, right? And this guy is going to have a F2x. Okay, since this body is in equilibrium, we must have the resultant equal to 0. Okay, so since R is equal to 0, what do we have? We have F1 plus F2 is equal to 0, or we have F1xi plus F1yj plus, this is your F1 force vector, right, plus F2xi plus F2yj is equal to 0. Okay, or we can write it as f1x plus f2x I plus f1y plus f2y j is equal to 0. Okay, now if we are going to equate the coefficients of I and j, since over here what do we have? This is equal to 0i plus 0j, right? So what do we get? Equating coefficients, we get that f1x plus f2x is equal to 0 and f1y plus f2y is equal to 0, or in other words we have f1x is equal to minus f2x and we have f1y is equal to minus f2y. So what does this tell me? This tells me that my forces are equal and opposite in direction. Okay, so one force is like this. Okay, if this is f1x, this is, let's say, f1y, okay, then the other force is like this. This is going to be f1y minus f1y, right, minus f1y, and this is going to be my minus f1x. Okay, so this is your f1 over here and this is your f2 over here. So your f1 and f2 are equal in magnitude and opposite in sense. Okay, so whenever you have two forces in equilibrium, you are always going to get the case wherein they are equal in magnitude and opposite in direction. Now my other condition of equilibrium is the sum of moments should be 0. Okay, so if this is my force system, okay, what is the moment of this forces f1 and f2 at this point? At this point the moment of f1 is 0, but moment of f2 is not going to be 0. It is going to be something, right? And what about the moment of these two forces at this point? At this point the moment of f2 is 0, but moment of f1 is not 0. Okay, so since the moment of f1 plus f2 is 0, it is imperative that both of these f1 and f2 are along the same line of action. Okay, so whenever we have a two force body in equilibrium, the two forces should be equal and opposite in sense and must have the same line of action. Okay, if one force is like this, the other force should be like this. Okay, and it should have the same line of action. Only then the moment of these two forces together is going to be 0. Let us see why. If we take any point on this line, the moment obviously is going to be 0. If we take a point anywhere outside, the moment due to this, okay, due to this is going to be compensated by the moment due to this thing. Okay, since these are equal vectors, okay, the moment are going to be compensated if we have any point outside this line. So whenever you have a two force system, the forces are going to be equal in magnitude, opposite in direction, and they are going to have the same line of action. Okay, on any point on the line of action, your moment is going to be 0. Okay, let us see what happens if I take a point outside the line of action. Let us suppose I take this point. Okay, let us see what is the movement of these two forces over here. So this, let us call this as R1, this let us call this as R2. So my MR, let's choose a different color. My MR is equal to moment of F1 about, let's call this point as O, moment of F1 about O plus moment of F2 about O. Okay, moment of F2 about O. We are talking about vectors. So this is equal to, what is the moment of F1 about O? It is equal to R1 cross F1. Okay, plus the moment of F2 about O is R2 cross F2. Okay, but we know that F2 is equal to minus of F1. Okay, we have already proved this. Therefore, we are going to have R1 cross F1 plus, or rather let's have it minus R2 cross F1. Okay, we have replaced F2 by minus of F1. So we get this. Over here we are going to have R1 minus R2 cross F1. Okay, so what is R1 minus R2 over here? Your R1 minus R2 is this vector. Okay, this is the vector which is R1 minus R2. Okay, this is R1 minus R2 because R2 plus this vector, okay, my triangle law, plus X is equal to R1. Okay, therefore X is equal to what? X is equal to R1 minus R2. Okay, so my this vector is R1 minus R2. We have seen that the cross product is given by the modulus of R1 minus R2 into the modulus of F sine theta, where theta is the angle between, if this is your R, this is your F, then this is the theta. Okay, the cross product of R cross F is also given by RF sine theta. Okay, so over here your angle, your theta, your F is in this direction, your R1 minus R2 is in this direction, therefore your theta is equal to 0. Okay, therefore what is this value? This value is equal to 0 because your theta is equal to 0 as R1 minus R2 vector, or let's call it as R1 vector minus R2 vector, is in same direction as F. Okay, same direction as F. So we have seen that whenever we have a two-force body, their orientation is going to be like this, where F1 and F2 are going to have same line of action, opposite sense and same magnitude. Now let's look at another case where we have only three forces acting on the body. Okay, we are talking about an equilibrium of a three-force system. Okay, so if my body is like this, okay, let's make a bit like this, and I have forces acting like this. If I have F1 over here, if I have, let us say, F2 over here, okay, and F3 like this, okay, then let's see what happens. What do conditions of equilibrium tell me? Okay, the conditions of equilibrium tell me that the moment of these forces about any point should be 0. Okay, so Mr is equal to 0. Let us see what is the moment of these two forces, or rather these three forces at this. Let's extend the line of action of F2 and extend the line of action of F1. What is the moment of these three forces at this point? Over here, the moment due to F1 is going to be 0, the moment due to F2 is going to be 0, but the moment due to F3 is going to have some value. Okay, it is not 0. Therefore, we can say that for the moment of these three forces to be 0, your F3 should be at this point. Okay, it should be over here. So I am just going to write it down. Let us call this point as A, or let's call this point as O. Okay, at O, let's choose a different color. We are saying that at O, the point of intersection of line of actions of F1 and F2, the moments of F1 and the moment of F2 is 0. Okay, but the moment of F3 is not equal to 0. Therefore, for moment of F3 to be 0, why we want moment of F3 to be 0? Because we want Mr to be 0, and Mr is moment of F1 plus moment of F2 plus moment of F3. Okay, so this is already 0, you want this to be 0, therefore your F3 should be pointing at O. Okay, the point of action of F3 should be at O. So we are going to say for F3 to be 0, the point of action of F3 should be O. Okay, the point of action of F3 should be O. Okay, so if the point of action of F3 is O, which is like this, then we can say that a three-force system is in equilibrium when all three forces are concurrent. Okay, so we are going to say that hence for a three-force system to be in equilibrium, what is the condition that should be satisfied? The condition is they must be concurrent. For a three-force system to be in equilibrium, the forces must be concurrent. Okay, so these are two special cases, the two-force system equilibrium and three-force system equilibrium. You are going to get maximum number of problems from these two particular cases. Okay, where there are only three forces acting or only two forces acting. Okay, so what would be the final orientation of the forces in a three-force system? The final orientation would be something like this. You are going to have F1, you are going to have F1, F2 and F3, and your forces would be like this. This is going to be your F2, this is going to be your F1, this is going to be your F3. Okay, the forces are concurrent. Okay, this is your point of application of F1. This would be a point of application of F2, and this would be a point of application of F3. But due to my principle of transmissibility, I can shift this to this guy, or this point I can shift this to this point. Along the line of action I can shift my force without affecting the force, because force is a sliding vector. So we get that all three forces act at a single point. Okay. Now let's understand the concept of a free body diagram. Okay. What is a free body diagram? Free body diagram is simply a diagram which represents all the external forces acting on a body. Okay. Let us understand this with an example. So over here we have two spheres. Okay, there is a sphere 1 and a sphere 2 which are put in a cylinder. Okay, this is a cylinder. You're looking at from the front, so it looks like this. Okay, actually it's a cylinder. So two spheres are put in a cylinder. We have to draw the force body diagram or a free body diagram of the individual spheres and the cylinder. Okay, let us see how we are going to proceed. Okay, first we are going to draw the FBD of this particular sphere. Okay, so let's put it over here. So what are the forces acting on this body? There is a reaction due to this surface, right? Whenever two bodies are in contact, okay, they exert equal and opposite force on each other. Okay, this is Newton's third law. So my Newton's third law says that because these two surfaces are in contact, there is going to be a reaction offered by this cylinder to this sphere. The same reaction would be offered by this sphere to cylinder, which would be like this. Okay, so we have a reaction over here. Similarly, we have a reaction offered by this surface of the cylinder. Also, since the spheres themselves are in contact, we are going to have a reaction offered like this as well. Okay, so this is the FBD of my sphere. Okay, it is going to have a reaction. Okay, let us give some points. Let us say that this is point A, this is point B, this is point C, and this is point D. Therefore, the FBD of sphere is like this, where you have a reaction which is like this. This is going to be RA. You are going to have a reaction at this point, which is going to be your RB. Okay, and you are going to have a reaction over here, which is going to be your RC. Okay, now let's look at the FBD of the other sphere. My other sphere is like this. Okay, we forgot to mention one important force over here, and that force is the force acting on this body due to its mass. Okay, the weight acting down on this body. So we are also going to have a mg, which is the weight of this body acting downwards. Okay, or let's call it as m1g, where m1 is the mass of this sphere. Okay, similarly on this sphere we are going to have the same reaction but in opposite direction. Okay, since these are in contact, we are going to have a reaction over here, and we are going to have the mass acting downwards, which is going to be m2g. Okay, So for the cylinder, for this other sphere, the free body diagram of this sphere is going to be, we are going to have a, let's draw it like this, we are going to have a RC over here. So it's the same reaction, only the direction has changed because it is equal and opposite forces as per Newton's third law. Okay, and then from the center we are going to have M2G. Okay, so and from over here we are going to have a RD as well. So this is your FBD of the other sphere. Now let's look at the FBD of the cylinder. Okay, the cylinder is in contact with the sphere at this point, at this point, and at this point. Okay, so there are going to be 3 reactions. Okay, so the reactions would be opposite to this RA. Okay, so the reaction would be like this. Okay, over here it would be like this, and over here it would be like this. Okay, so let's just have this cylinder, and I'm going to paste it over here. Okay, we don't want these spheres now. So my reactions are going to be like this. Your RA is going to be over here. Okay, your RB is going to be over here, which is the reaction offered by the sphere, and you are going to have your RD over here as well. Okay, and whatever is the weight of this cylinder, it's gonna be at somewhere around here, which is at the center of gravity of this sphere, of this cylinder. Okay, so over here you are going to have M3G. Okay, so this is the FBD of your cylinder. Okay.